sometimes I feel like Christianity is stupid easy. Like where sometimes I'll say this to people, I'm like, it's just like so stupid easy. Like, of course your child is misbehaving at school. Your parents fight all the time. Your mother is lippy. Your father is, he undermines your mother's authority in front of you. Your mother undermines your father's authority. Like, of course, your child is going to undermine authority. All they see at home are their parents who are both, in the eyes of a child, authority figures, fighting with each other or undermining each other or not working together as a team. So, like with the authority structure within a marriage, um, we know like Christ is the head of our marriage. God is the head of our marriage, right? And then below that is the father is the captain of the ship. The father is the head of the marriage. And I like to use the captain of the ship analogy because I think it kind of works. Like my husband, it was so funny because he had so much to say about this. I wish he was like on this podcast because he was so funny when he was talking about this. Or it was just interesting his perspective because he's like, look, if you're the captain of a ship, you're going to pick the best first mate possible. So like the captain is in charge and then the first mate is right below the captain, right? And if the captain dies or something, the first mate has to take over the captaining of the ship. And so your first mate, your wife, it needs to be somebody that is pretty competent. Like she can't just be like a total like flake, right? She has to be able because the wife and the first mate of a ship actually do the bulk. They will make the bulk of the decisions within the household generally.
Hmm.
Um, Not meaning that they make the big decisions, but meaning they make these like little detailed decisions. And I know, like anybody who's married that has children knows that, like for the most part, the mom is in charge of the pediatrician appointments and the school homework and the talking to the teachers and what clothes should the kids wear and all of this stuff. So this kind of authority structure is something that we all understand living in a society in every other institution that we come across. We understand it at school, we understand it at work, we understand it in a ship, we understand the need for a captain, and we understand the need for a first mate and all of the people in the ship that have their jobs, right? But for some reason, whenever anybody brings this up in a marriage, when they're like the father's the head of the household, the man is the head of the household, everyone fall like people go apoplectic about that. Like they completely like women freak out when you say this to them. Absolutely just like they go ballistic on you. They cannot believe that you would ever imply that this man that they decided to marry, usually after dating for 3 or 4 years nowadays, right? That somehow that man is capable of making good decisions for his family in an overall sense. Like he is the one that's going to drive the family to where they need to get to. Um, she makes a lot of decisions. I'm not saying that like women should just be like waiting for their husbands to order them around all day, but I do find that somewhat curious for a couple of reasons. One is if you're a woman, you're married to a man, men are much larger than women. They are much more powerful than women. If that man wants to hurt you in some way, if he has some bad intention for you are at grave physical risk, grave physical risk. So why are you married to a man who is bigger and stronger that you sleep next to, who can strangle you in the middle of the night easily if you don't trust him? This is insane to me. Like, this is absolutely insane to me that women have
I
this
don't think they think about it.
reaction. It's absurd.
Well,
It's absurd.
I heard a good argument on it was an Instagram reel. The guy was trying to explain to this feminist woman like all of these feminist ideas, men allow and protect you from, or like the whole idea is like allowed for by men because they could just say
Mhm.
no tomorrow, and what are the women going to do against the men? They're smaller and men are stronger.
Yeah,
So it's like the thing is just like essentially men allowing it in the end.
right.